My name is Rhapsody, welcome back to Slay the Spire, the Heartbreaker Chronicles. We are going to be proceeding with the Defect on Ascension 20. Oh, as soon as we get the Defect done, then we can focus on the Silent and the Ironclad. Whereas for the moment, we're kind of swapping class constantly, which is probably not helping my win chances. I kind of want to take the random rare card and then try and build around it, but not all of them are viable in A20, so I'll just take the golds. Because then I can go to this first shop, try and pick up something that's going to be particularly powerful. Okay. I struck the backliner there because now the Spike Slime in the backline is only 2 strikes from dead. Because I was definitely going to be weakened by the Acid Slime that round. Right. Claw, Cold Snap, Barrage. It's definitely Claw. Say that much. Would have liked a second Claw, I'll tell you what. I kind of want to take the Sunder just for the ability to dunk out an elite. Or I could take Potion Belt so that I can carry extra potions into the final combat. Artifact Potion plus a Dex Potion, not Dex Potion, a Speed Potion would be great. I think I'm gonna go Sunder and then Strike Removal. Okay, this one's pretty easy. It's got to be the upgrade on the Sunder. It's 8 extra damage. Especially because I intend to go for 2 elites here. The Merchant's card removal service now always costs 50 gold. Hell yes. And as a result, I'm now directly able to use it. Okay. Only because we have the Sunder do I feel confident doing that. So next turn, I'm really hoping for Claw Sunder. Nice. Okay. Unfortunately, draw a Sunder, play a Sunder here in this fight. So we've got 1 elite in 2 more spaces. Can't be the Lark Bull in a game. Shuriken, every time you play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 1 strength. Ooh. Well, now it's either Charge Battery for the extra energy that'll allow me to play extra cards, including the Sunder, or Cold Snap so that I can defend while I'm offending at the same time. Also contributes towards Shuriken. As much as I want to draw a Sunder, play a Sunder, if I had 1 extra energy, I'd be able to do it, but that just felt a bit much there. Okay. There we go. Beam Cell, Short, another... It's a setup also for the Sunder, but also it's particularly good for the case of that Shuriken. This is not a particularly great opening hand. I'd like 1 more attack in it. Coming up short by just 1 constantly here, which isn't nice. Alright, fine. There's the Explosive Potion. Old Coin, upon pickup, gain 300 gold, as well as Turbo in a deck that has some 0-cost cards, and we're intending to kind of take more so that we can fund the Shuriken. Matroshka, the next 2 non-boss chests you open contain 2 relics, sure. That still has the ability to have its full effect, which is pretty damn impactful. Right. Take a Go for the Eyes. It's another 0-cost attack. Our boss this floor is Hexaghost, so I don't want to heal that much, but I still do want to heal a little. I also want to upgrade Zap, Dual Cast, Go for the Eyes, Beam Cell. I'm probably dodging that elite and going for the rest. Not the rest, but the shop instead. So I think I have a while to do some upgrades, so let's try and get a couple of them off. Ah, it's the worst. just after I had to drop my explosive potion on a completely different combat. Ugh. Skim isn't even really going to give me anything here that I want to use is the problem. Beam Cell Claw kills the frontliner, gives me a little extra attack damage here. So I can strike Cold Snap to kill a character and defend myself for 2. Or I can defend Cold Snap to defend myself for 6, but I'd leave a character up. That had a chance to use lightning on the front line to save me some extra HP there. Okay. Yeah, we'll pass those. I'm gonna rest in this position. Still do need some HP going into the Hexaghost fight. Ooh. Whenever you lose HP, trigger the passive ability of all your orbs at the start of your next turn. Sling of Courage. Each elite combat, you start with 2 extra strength. That's pretty damn interesting. I kind of want to go for that Cold Snap Sweeping Beam to introduce some AoE into the deck and a card removal. Alright, this one I feel has to be on Beam Cell. The extra vulnerability is going to be so much extra damage over the course of this fight. Really wanted 3 attacks that I could play. Oh well. Sunder is, like, nice-ish. It's not doing me justice right now. I'm going to zap dual cast in order to get as much defense as I possibly can. I was hoping to draw Go for the Eyes before. That's why I used the Skim as early as I did. Would have been really good if I'd gotten it as well. So we've got 1 point of strength so far. That's really lame. 1 attack, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 in an in-play deck of 15. So I should be expecting to get it a little more commonly than I currently am, is what I'm arguing here effectively. There we go. Look. An average hand. Alright, I'll full defend this turn. Go for the Eyes on literally the only turn that my opponent's not attacking on. Sweet. Yeah, it's really difficult to pass up a vulnerable Sunder on the enemy there. Play the strike over the zap there for the extra point of strength that it'll provide, as well as it does more instantaneous damage, and now we have lethal. Okay. Steroid Potion as well as Rainbow versus Seek versus Machine Learning. Machine Learning in a deck that is going to play like a bunch of zero-cost attacks so that we have the ability to trigger Shuriken commonly. Seems like a pretty good idea to me. See, the problem here is I believe if we don't take extra energy, we're not going to be able to fund our Shuriken enough of the time, especially because we don't have an all for one in this deck. So I really don't want to take Coffee Dripper, but I also think we need to take Coffee Dripper here. I definitely can't take the Calling Bell. It has the ability to just straight up kill you on A20. It's so unforgiving. If I'd taken the Blue Candle before, then I could take Calling Bell now, but hindsight's 2020. I could also just transform and upgrade 3 cards with the Astrolabe. really want the extra energy, though. I don't think the deck is defensive enough. I think if I take the coffee dripper for the extra energy, we'll just die next floor. So I think I have to take Astrolabe as much as I don't want to here. I think also I should probably transform Strike, Zap, and Dual Cast. Just because we need to be playing more attacks, and they are very costly, and I would have to upgrade them as well. At least Zap and Dual Cast I would have to upgrade before I'm comfortable using them. We got Thunderstrike, Aggregate, and Tempest. Oh, garbage. That was really bad. Alright, I'm going to take a path with 2 early shops for hopefully 2 early removals. Well, that's as good as it could have done, and I've done no damage, and I'm now frail. Yay. Oh dear. Aggregate for 1 energy back. All right. I'll be taking 3 damage this turn, but I have to play the Sweeping Beam. Nice. I'm not going to be taking 3 damage this turn. But I had to play the Sweeping Beam because if we don't start triggering the Shuriken, we will just lose. Slowly, but we will lose. Claw. And I really want the regen potion. I think I'm dropping the steroid for it. Sure. If we get Enchiridion, we can just Necronomicon. Cool. The first attack you play that costs 2 or more each turn is played twice. Upon pickup, obtain a special curse. Now Sunder is the best card in our deck. Went from the worst to the best. Hyper Beam would be ridiculous right now. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to get that, so let's not obsess over it. Since we will be loading our deck with high-cost attacks so that we can trigger Necronomicon consistently, we won't take Impatience. I think we need the defense, so I think it has to be Auto Shields. And probably a card removal on Aggregate, which is just not going to be good in this entire deck. Lose a regen potion for a relic or a claw. Has to be the regen potion. Pantograph at the start of boss combat, heal for 25 HP. Worth. Definitely worth. Ow. Alright, so Sunder gives me the ability to just murder the backliner, get my extra energy. Great. Thunderstrike is actually not awful now. Not good, but not awful. If I had the ability to play either Thunderstrike or Sunder after Cool-Headed, I would take a Cool-Headed here. I think other than that, I probably need to take a Steam Barrier just for the defense's sake. Either that or a Beam Cell. Beam Cell. Good thing we have the ability to rest. That's a pretty good turn right there. It's 20 damage. Not that 20 damage here is helpful, but it would be 20 damage. Hey, the 0 costs have come to town. Focus Potion as well as FTL, incredibly powerful for helping us accumulate the Shuriken, but the thing is, Boot Sequence is going to give us a little bit more time at the start of combat. I think I need that. I think I have to rest again. We do have 2 elites coming up at the very end of this path. Mummified Hand, when you play a power, a random card in your hand costs 0 for the rest of that turn. And we'll take the Sapphire Key over the pair here. Alright. Because we're going to be dropping big attacks, having those 2 vulnerable enablers are going to be particularly powerful. 50-50ing a bad face and then getting weakness at the start of each combat would just murder us. I think I have to leave. Probably the right call. Cool. So we have the ability to lead boot sequence in our deck, which is nice. Ow. Kind of just have to cop this damage. Guarantees that I have lethal next turn. The problem is I couldn't go for the draw and then definitely draw into useful defense. Incense Burner, every 6 turns gain 1 intangible, as well as another Cold Snap. Happily. I'm resting here because we have the powered up elite in the next space. Probably Power Potion here. I'll take Static Discharge, because it's just going to trigger a bunch of times over the course of this combat, and we kind of have to come to terms with that. If we're going to be losing HP, let's at least get a bonus out of it while we do. Especially because we can multiplay our Thunderstorm. I believe a Thunderstorm double taps here is lethal now? 9 by 12. Well, 9 by 6, right? Is 54 twice. Yeah. Vajra, start each combo with 1 strength. Considering how this deck is going, that's actually pretty good. Reboot for an extra draw, especially after we play a bunch of 0 cost, seems like a pretty good idea for us. We'll heal 25 HP as we go into the start of the boss fight here, so I'm trying to consider, is there anything else that I would like to take instead of some more HP? No, I want some more HP as well. Well, might not have been what we wanted, but at the very least we have intangibility next turn. Upgraded Sunder is probably going to be stolen out of my deck by this orb, so I probably want to start working them down. Never mind, now the Sunder's gone. And all is now right with the world. There goes Thunderstrike, but that's okay. I'm actually really fine with Thunderstrike disappearing. Not fine with this hand. Completely useless. I'm trying to liberate that Thunderstrike now, actually. Excellent. Sure, you can take Skim. Don't actually even mind. I play the Tempest that turn for maximum value so that I can upgrade the Thunderstrike as much as I possibly can. Because the doubling of the Thunderstrike from this point on is going to be a considerable way for us to deal damage, rather. Sadly, we didn't have vulnerability already applied there, but that was 151 damage. So I can defend for 12 just with the cold snaps. Unless we play Skim and draw in to go for the eyes, we're going to have a lot of difficulty here. Didn't get the go for the eyes. That's really bad. All right, so we're just going to be dying on the second attack that the Bronze Automaton uses here. That's okay. Back to life. There goes the bronze automaton. I'm very glad I rested before that fight, mind. Amplify versus Echo Form. Sure. I can't take another no energy option as much as I do want the extra frost orbs. I have to take Busted Crown. Gain energy at the start of each turn. Future card reward screens have 2 fewer cards from which to choose. We don't want to stack a bunch of powers in our deck because we do have, at the end of this floor, the dunk on you if you have a bunch of powers in your deck. Also known as the Awakened one. I do want a path with a lot of rests. Specifically because I'd like to get some upgrades and also get the ruby. Great. Double up on the Thunderstrike. Nice. Sweeping Beam for a little more AoE. No. Juzu Bracelet. Normal enemy encounters are no longer encountered in question mark rooms, as well as Dreamcatcher. Whenever you rest out a card to your deck, will be resting kind of regularly. Thought that might work. Alright, Echo Form's going to be pretty good here. Problem is, if I Echo Form the machine learning, I will reduce the cost of the Sunder, which means Sunder won't play twice, which is the worst case scenario for me. And I don't need Sunder to play 3 times. I don't get any benefit out of that. 66 is enough to kill any enemy on the field currently. So I think we actually have to double defend. Then double a Sunder on a target. I actually might just reboot and try and find defense here. Yeah. I think that's the best I could have done that turn. Gotta leave him on the brink. Ball Lightning, no. Need more defense than offense here. Pray to transform a card? It's probably a defend. They're just not powerful enough to fragment's nice. All for one. All for one literally... yes. Has to be all for one. All for one will play twice, but all for one will also get me all of my 0 costs back, of which there aren't many. I'm also going to take a Fear Potion so that we can kill an elite more easily. Okay, Defragment needs to be upgraded, especially considering how many Cold Snaps we're using in this deck. It was a 50-50 that Thunderstrike would have dealt 12, but also dealt 7 back to me effectively, so I'd rather avoid that. That was the wrong ordering, though. I should have had the Frost Orb remaining at the end of that turn. Works for me. And again, just wait for the orbs to kill them at this rate. go. 2 more turns. Thank you. Ancient Potion as well as Overclock for the extra draw. Deck trashing is really difficult because this deck actually is quite thin, especially in action. Alright, it's okay. Still got time. Definitely should have played Sunder at the very end of the turn there. That's my bad. I kind of want to double up on my Go for the Ice here, just for the weakness. Try and keep that about for as long as we can. Thank you, thank you to Echo Form for the 3rd play there. Well, at least we know we'll be well defended at the start of the next combat. Ice Cream energy is now conserved between turns. There's a few other cards that we now could desperately, or rather could afford. Steam Barrier, really needs some defense. I don't see how this deck wins at this point, by the way. Bag Preparation at the start of each combat, draw 2 additional cards. Like, I think it can win this floor. I don't think it can win the game anymore, though. I think it would need, like, a couple copies of Glacier at the very least. And that's just for starting with. That's awful. There's a Parasite in our deck. I couldn't have known that the final thing was going to transform the enemy again. Or rather, I couldn't have known that the final thing was going to transform them to that effect. How could I have best countered that, though? Okay, this turn. I'm just not yet comfortable playing against the Writhing Mass. I think I need to know all of the different results of the Writhing Mass. Like, I know it has the 3x10 in this mode. I know that it has the Parasite effect. I know that it has, I think, a Weaken and a Vulnerable at the same time, as well as a small attack. It might just be those. But I do need to know more about the Writhing Mass, because I'm just awful at playing against it at the moment. I encounter it so rarely, and when I do, it's usually a cakewalk for most decks that aren't already struggling by that point. So what would this deck have done on the final floor? Died, really. It just didn't have enough defense that it was capable of generating. What we really would have needed is an energy relic on the first floor, paired with the cracked core, the frosted core, at the end of the second instead of the busted crown. That would have given us the ability to try and focus on generating orb slots, though we didn't see a bunch of capacitors in that run either. I think while the Necronomicon helped us in the short term, it also pivoted our deck away from finding its next All for One and then just queuing up a bunch of zero costs, playing All for One, queuing up those zero costs again. I think that would have also been a more successful thing to do. I think Echo Form was a pick that is viable for the boss fights, but wasn't viable for the floor fights. It was a little bit more viable given the fact that we have Mummified Hands, so it had the ability to both be reduced in cost by playing Defragment or Machine Learning, but also to reduce the cost of something else, so it effectively costs 2 or 1, depending on what it reduces the cost of. Sometimes 0. Yeah, it was a bit of a scattered deck. We needed more defense, and I just don't see how much more defense we would have been capable of taking without jeopardizing our offense to the point that we wouldn't have been able to win previous fights. Like, we had a bunch of offense in the automaton fight. We almost died. A couple times. Ah, well. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Slay the Spire. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we will see you as we move back to the Ironclad next time.